Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's Monday. I don't know if I'm going to have this video up tonight or if it's going to be tomorrow, Tuesday, but I wanted to do a small kind of early week video on the new person of interest, James Brian Chadwell, a new person of interest in the Delphi case. So I had a couple of people comment on some older videos asking me about this guy and would I pull some cards on him. So I wanted to do a quick reading. I don't know if this is going to be as long as most of the videos that I put out, but we'll just kind of see how it goes. So I have an article here open and I'm going to share this article in my description box. It's a really good article and it shows some pictures of James Brian Chadwell, side-by-side pictures of tattoos that he has. There's a tattoo, I'm going to put it up on the screen now. There's a tattoo that he has that looks very eerily similar to Libby. So a lot of people think that he himself physically looks like Bridge Guy. And I have to admit that when I first seen him, my first thoughts were, no, it wasn't him. And I think a lot of that is because we have been kind of told, or at least, I don't know if we've been told, but I've had this idea in my mind that this person is someone well known in the community of Delphi or in that local area, somebody that maybe is a little bit higher up on the hierarchy, someone that you wouldn't necessarily suspect. And so this just kind of looks like your average Joe, and I've never heard of him before. I don't know who he is, so that kind of didn't go with my thinking as far as that is concerned. But we're going to pull cards and see what comes out. So I am going to read a little bit of how he came into the news. It is disturbing, so just telling you that, warning you that. But this is what the article says. So, according to the affidavit, officers were dispatched regarding a missing child near Park Avenue in Lafayette on April 19th. Upon arrival, officers took a report stating that a female child approximately 10 years old had left her residence at approximately 6:30 p.m. and could not be found. While officers were searching the neighborhood, they made contact with James Chadwell, who told officers that the girl had been at his residence earlier, but that she had left. Officers continued their search, but later returned to Chadwell's home and asked him for permission to check the residence. He allowed them in, and the officers checked the basement, which they said was secured with a chain lock. There they found a young girl who was visibly distraught and crying with her clothing on the floor beside her. She was identified as the missing girl, and she told officers that Chadwell had tried to kill her. She was injured and taken to the hospital for treatment. The girl described going into Chadwell's residence and petting his dogs. While inside the home, Chadwell attacked her. The girl said Chadwell hit her in the head multiple times because she was fighting back. She said Chadwell was also choking her with his hands on her neck and also using his arm in a headlock to the point to where she passed out. She said most of her clothes were off when she regained consciousness, and Chadwell took her into the basement, according to the affidavit. So the next paragraph, it's disgusting. It's things that he tried to do to her and things that he had her do to him, and I'm not even going to just read it. So it looks like court records show that Chadwell faces the following charges: attempted murder, attempted intentional killing of another, child molesting, where the defendant is at least 21 years old and the kidnapping of the victim is less than 14, criminal confinement resulting in serious bodily injury, battery resulting in serious bodily injury, and strangulation. So I hope that there's enough there that keeps him behind bars for the rest of his life, because even though I'm thankful that this little girl is alive and will be able to go home, she is going to be forever probably changed by this incident. And so I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. So let's just send out good vibrations and prayers for this little girl and her family, that she is able to mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and every other kind of way get through this, and that she can live somewhat of a normal life after this happened. So basically, when this was made public. Of course, this is a man from Lafayette, Indiana. It's not very far from Delphi. When this made headlines, everybody started looking at him, comparing his image to Bridge Guy. And so that's what we are going to do, is we're going to ask the cards today if this is Bridge Guy or if he had anything to do with the murders of Liberty and Abigail. So let's just dig right in. And I'm going to ask point blank, yes or no. Does James Chadwell, does he have anything to do with the murders of Libby and Abby? Does James Chadwell have anything to do with the murders of Libby and Abby? Is he Bridge Guy? Is James Chadwell Bridge Guy? Is James Chadwell Bridge Guy? Wow. What one to fall out, right? So the Ace of Wands. To me, that's a yes. Any ace is a yes. That's a hard yes. So not looking good so far. Let's see what else comes out. Okay, Queen of Wands. Tell us about James, Libby, and Abby. Okay, so let me just stop here for a second. I know the lighting sucks really bad. I should have asked my boys to get me some new lighting for Mother's Day. That's what I should have asked, but it's too late now. All right, so definitely the Ace of Wands. I do feel like it is a possibility. I mean, I look at all that fire as rage. That is rage behind his action, his thoughts, his feelings. There's something going on inside of him that I think is just boiling over with rage. And it's a possibility that it has something to do with a mother figure or some female figure in his life. So to me, I don't know, sorry about that, I don't know who else this Queen of Wands would be in this man's life, but this kind of, the first thing I thought was mom. And it makes me, and I see all this fire, and it just makes me feel like there's some issues that this man could have with a mother figure or his mom, past issues that have just kind of boiled over at this point in time. So interesting that the Ten of Swords comes out. Okay, so the Ten of Swords, this is kind of a good card in this particular case, because I feel like, you know, the 10, that's repetitiveness, that's a pattern, that's having a pattern, a behavior pattern. And I do feel like he has a pattern of harming. What he has done to this poor 9-year-old girl, I don't feel like it's the first time. This is a pattern of behavior, okay? But I do feel like it's the last time. He's walking away from it because he has no choice. He's been arrested. It's going to stop. It's been stopped for him. But I do think that if he hadn't been caught, he would have continued to do so, because this does tell me that he has committed crimes like this before. So right now, I'm not feeling too good about him as far as Abby and Libby. I think that there is a strong possibility that it is the guy, because he at least he's done crimes like this before. He's done some things before. So, but like I said, it wasn't the first time, but it is going to be the last time. They've taken the opportunity away from him by arresting him, getting him off the street. So that's why I said in the beginning that this is like a good card to me with this particular pull. All right, so is James Chadwell responsible for the murders of Abby and Libby? Let's see what else we can get here. Huh. Interesting, very interesting. All right, so we've got the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is one of those cards that comes out a lot in the Delphi case, right? I get a lot of people, I have several Delphi videos up, and the Hierophant is usually one of those ones that always pops up in the case. And you know, I get a lot of viewers that comment and say, oh, I've watched this reader and that reader, and they pulled the Hierophant. And so a lot of people have this idea that this is a person that's affiliated with a church or a religion somehow. Doesn't necessarily have to be a church or religion. It can just be the system as a whole. It can also be going against the system. It can be a person who bucks up against the system or the norms, okay, or yeah, just societal norms. So it could be just this person is not normal, okay, or doesn't follow the rule of law like most of us do, okay. So especially if this had come out reversed, and I know it's not reversed, but this is an interesting one to, you know, let's just put it aside and see what else. But that it's interesting that that comes out because that is a Delphi connection card, right? I have had enough viewers write in the comment section about the Delphi case, tarot cards, and the Hierophant, and the fact that this Hierophant is coming out for this Chadwell guy, I feel like is a big connection. And in this particular card, well, in all cards for the Hierophant, there's always keys in the cards, okay, because he holds the power. You know, he's got the keys to greater things, right? Greater power, but he's got the keys. And so there's something about this guy that is interesting. And I think that that's very interesting that that one came out. And then we've got the moon. So the moon tells me that I do think that there's going to be things that are exposed about this guy that we have yet to see or hear. I think that there's going to be more things, especially with this 10 of Swords. I do think that he has I do think that he has things in his past crimes that he's committed, and I do think that those are going to be exposed. I don't think that, regardless of whether or not he's responsible for the Delphi murders, he is responsible for other crimes, okay? And I do think that they're going to be exposed. But right now, I feel like this is a good opportunity or a good chance that this guy could be Bridge Guy. So very interesting. Again, he's got a lot of shame. This is the 5 of Cups. This is the shame card. He knows he's done things that are not good. He knows he's done wrong things or things that are, you know, shameful really in society, okay? He has done things that in society you wouldn't expect people to do, okay? There's something wrong with him. I think he's aware enough that he knows he's doing wrong, but he does them anyway. So he does have some shameful things, and I think that he knows that these things are going to be exposed because that's what the moon does, right? It exposes. So, and then we've got Temperance. So is this balance being restored? Now, all of you guys know that the Temperance card, especially in this deck, is my concoction card, simply because, you know, she's mixing things and putting them in her cauldron, and you've got the smoke, you know, coming from here like she's cooking up something. And so, you know, especially when you're reading on true crime, you know, your cards take on different meanings than they would if they were just a personal reading. And so this is my concoction card. This is something that he's mixing up and giving it to someone. So, you know, that could very well be maybe when he has victims, maybe he gives them something, maybe he knocks them out, maybe he drugs them. But it could be just the basic restoration of justice. Maybe something has happened with this arrest. Okay, maybe some balance has just kind of happened in the universe with this man being off the road or off the streets, because I do feel like this was a dangerous man. Okay, he has done some pretty crazy things in his life. I think some pretty dark, evil things in his life, and they have got him off the streets now. So interesting. All right, so again, what else can we find out about the connection of James Chadwell and Liberty and Abigail? Okay, connections with Libby and Abby. James Chadwell, connections with Libby and Abby. James Chadwell, connections with Libby and Abby. Okay, so this is a man with a big ego. Okay, so we've got the Six of Wands. This is an ego guy. He likes to be looked at as like he's something important. So definitely possibly a narcissist, okay? Thinks he's all that and whatever. Definitely, I think that he, again, we've got 8. We've got 8. So we've got a pattern of behavior again. And I think that this really just kind of indicates that each victim, I swear I feel like each one of these pentacles or these flowers that's in this card represents a victim, sad to say. And this is a card that shows a man working diligently on each individual flower or each individual pentacle, putting his time and effort and devotion and focus and attention into each one and taking it step by step. Okay, it's a work card is what it is. And it makes me feel like this is a person who puts effort and thought into each crime and each victim he chooses. And that is scary, okay? He's methodical. He plans. He focuses. This is... And it's interesting because this is an 8 card, right? But we've got 2 pentacles. We've got this one and we've got this one down here. And we are asking about Abby and Libby. So you have to kind of look at the symbols in these cards and look at little clues like that. And so, I am asking about Libby and Abby, and we've got 2 pentacles, one that he's working on and one down here. Let's keep that in mind. Any more connections between James Brian Chadwell and Libby and Abby? Oh, he's happy. He's proud of his work. He's proud of his work, but he's got a lot of issues. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so when I look at the 9 of Cups and the 7 of Pentacles, okay, this is a guy who, on one hand, he knows what he's doing is wrong, and he's aware of it, and there is some shame on his end, but he's also happy. He also feels like he's almost proud of himself, like he's happy with what he's done. He looks at it, I wouldn't be surprised if there's enough pentacles in this reading coming up that makes me feel like it's a possibility that there could be, what's the word I'm looking for, like souvenirs. Is it souvenirs that these people will take from victims and hold on to? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they find it. If they look in his home and they find things that would connect him to previous crimes. I think that they will have more than just 1 or 2 or 3 crimes. I think that I do think that there's going to be some physical, tangible things that possibly link him to other crimes. And it's things that he has been proud of, that he, just kind of collects and looks at and admires, because that's what the 7 of Pentacles is. It's kind of a look back and kind of see how far I've gotten and just admiring your work. And then we've got this one here. We've got all these Pentacle cards, and I just kind of feel like, this one's a cup here, and we've got cup here, but I feel like there's enough Pentacle cards here to make me feel like these pentacles are representing number 1 victims, but also, I don't know if the word I'm looking for is souvenir, but souvenirs of victims. So that's what I think that they're coming out. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are some things that they find in his home or residence. But he could also, this tells me the 4 of Cups, because we've got the 4 of Cups, we've got the 5 of Cups, so we've got shame, we've got, anger, we've got disappointment. This is it's a possibility. I would be not shocked if I found out, or if they put out there that he had possibly a drinking problem. Is this a person that drinks a lot? This is not a happy person. He's content with what he's done. He feels like he's gotten away with it. He's happy with doing those types of things, but he's still got a lot of deep issues, and he knows what he's doing is wrong. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a person that turns to alcoholic beverages to deal with whatever he has going on. So, and I at least feel like this reading is more or less on James Chadwell, and I don't think that I'm just kind of feeling like I think that he could if he has a drinking problem, then that would cinch it for me, put it that way. If I found out, if it came out that he did drink a lot, or even if it was beer, if he drank beer every day, that would, to me, I think would probably cinch it and convince me that they're possibly on to the right person. And same thing here with the Ace of Cups. This is an overflow of drinking. It's also a yes card. I don't know, man. I'm just, like I said in the beginning when I first seen him, my gut instinct was no, it wasn't him. But everything in this reading to me is making me feel differently. So, and then we've got the marriage card or the celebration card, the Four of Wands. So again, let's just take out the imagery and the meaning behind it. We've got four, we've got balance, right? We've got balance and foundation. And so it kind of makes me feel like, again, I'm looking at it with that temperance, that it's a possibility that balance is being restored. Possibly, maybe this case is going to be solved. Maybe it's going to be solved. It's going to be over. Families are going to get justice. It doesn't bring the girls back, but it takes this, asshole off the street, right? So that's kind of the way I'm looking at this one here, because I don't really see any correlation with a relationship or a celebration or anything like this. It's celebration, actually. It could be just a celebration again of people, that have been affected, or, in his wake of terror, possibly, knowing that he's off the street and going to be spending hopefully the rest of his life in jail. So that could be a celebration. Although I just kind of feel more like it's a balance situation in this case. And if you put that next to the Tower card, that just means that his world is collapsing. Honestly, like I said in the beginning of this reading, I felt like, no, this was not the guy. By the end of this reading, I feel like it's a pretty damn good possibility that he is the guy. In fact, I think they may have the guy. There's too many cards here that are making me feel like it could be him. Like, it really could be him. His world is crashing. I mean, everything is just falling apart for him. His whole world is falling apart from within. He did not expect it. It came out of nowhere. He thought he was getting away with it. Remember, what card did I pull again earlier? Did I pull? Oh, I can't. It's not here. I don't know. I just feel like this is a person that really thought he was getting away with it and was happy and content. Oh, it was that Nine of Cups that I was thinking of. So this is a person that was happy and content with what he feels he has gotten away with, and it came out of nowhere, and it just literally ripped his life into shreds. Everything is collapsing around him, and he cannot believe it. So very, very interesting. All right, so let's see. What other information can we get about James Chadwell and being bridge guy? Any other information about James Chadwell being bridge guy? James Chadwell being bridge guy. Oh, interesting. Knight of Wands, Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, celebration. Oh, the Devil reversed. Wow. Okay, so first things first. Oh my God, this lamp is driving me crazy. All right, so the Knight of Cups. That is the romance card. That is the guy who is the flirt, or the person who's the flirt, the one that's, going, that old school romantic card. Okay, that's what that is. But in this particular deck, okay, we've got the Knight of the Knight of Cups. We've got him on a dragon, and he's also carrying a cup, and the cup has a snake in it. Okay, so I kind of feel like he is a person that has a tendency to lure, okay? And so I really do feel like this could potentially be the Delphi suspect, because I've always believed that the girls were lured out there. I think that they thought that they were talking to another kid their age. I don't think that they were, aware that I kind of believe that they were being catfished by someone, and I think that he lured them out there that day. And I think that they probably just maybe, and I could be wrong, these are just my opinions. I think that they fully expected to, come across a couple of other kids their own age that day, and had no idea whatsoever that there was a grown-ass man behind the phone or computer that they were communicating through. So to me, this here is a person who is definitely trying to portray a certain image, but you have to be careful because he can be sneaky. I mean, he's got that snake in this cup and he's handing it out as a gesture. So it's, to me, this is a person who likes to lure people. And even with this particular guy, we know that this 9-year-old girl that he did these heinous acts to, I think I read something in the article about how he tried to get her into his home to pet his dogs or something like that. So he's luring, he's using that technique to get to his victims. And so interesting that came out. And I kind of feel like there's some motherly issues possibly, or some female issues. He has issues, I think, with a female. There's a particular female in his life. Maybe it's just all females. But there is, I think, a motherly figure in his life that he has issues with. And that has there's something going on possibly with a mother. I don't know if this particular James guy, if he has a female in his life or an ex or anything like that. I'd be curious to know about his mother. I want to say I think that there's something going on with his mother. And then we've got the celebration card, the 3, again. Does this mean that, is this... I kind of feel like this card is coming up because this monster is off the street. I feel like it's, a good thing. It's a time for people to kind of take a breath and relax and think, God, okay, we have one more predator off the streets. It could be something else entirely. Could this represent at least 3 victims? We know of possibly 3, right? I think that there's even more than that based on that 10 of Swords. But, so let's hold off on this one as well. And then we've got the Devil, and we've got the Devil reversed. And I hate even saying this, but we've got chains. Right? We've got chains, and we know that this poor little 9-year-old girl was chained up to something, I think, down in the basement. And so this just kind of really shows the true nature of this individual. I mean, he is truly evil. So that's all I can say about that. This is an evil human being, and he tries to this is what he does. Okay, if you can see, okay, he tries to portray to be this one. But in actuality, he's really this one. He's luring, okay? He's trying to put on this facade, but this is his true self, okay? So that's, and it's possible. Maybe the relationship here with whoever this is, whether it's mom, whether it's an ex, I don't know. That could be the catalyst behind it. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is kind of like, he's on a cow. And so when I come, the Knights are the action cards in the deck, right? So they're the action. The Knight of Swords is the fastest, and the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest, but it's still an action card nonetheless. This just tells me that when he's doing this, okay, when he's scouting out, he's taking his time. I don't think he rushes things. I don't think that he's the type of person that works just impromptu. I think that when he's planning something, he is truly planning it, and he's trying to make sure he has all of his T's crossed and his I's dotted, and he's trying to make sure that he is you know, doing everything. And I think if this were the guy, if this is Delphi, I think that that's proven by the fact that he's managed to get away with it for almost 4 years. And so it's possible that this tactic of taking his time and you know, doing things methodically has helped him. But, you know, I think his time is up. So let's see. Let me pull, oops, let's just pull another few more cards here. James Bryan Chadwell. James Bryan Chadwell and Delphi. What else can we learn about James Bryan Chadwell and Delphi? James Bryan Chadwell and Delphi. Okay, so we've got some more pentacles. All right, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles and we've got the King of Pentacles. I feel like these pentacles are tangible valuables to him. That's what I think they are, because if I look at the King of Pentacles personality wise, I don't get James Chadwell. He doesn't strike me as a man whose personality wants the finer things in life and who wants nice things and materialistic or anything like that. But it does tell me that there is something that he holds dear to him, and there's something that he has in his life that is very valuable to him. There's something that's very valuable to him. And I have to wonder what that is. Are those souvenirs from crimes? That's kind of where my mind is taking me. That's what I feel. And I feel like there is something. I feel like if they make a connection to this guy and Bridge Guy, I think it's going to be based on some sort of physical, tangible item that he has in his possession that the police find. And that will be what will connect him to those heinous crimes that whoever did to Abby and Libby. So I do think that, I don't know what kind of DNA that they have in this case, if any. I'm assuming that they had some DNA, but I don't know. But I think it's going to come down to possibly that, possibly his whereabouts on that day 4 years ago, and is there any evidence in his home? And I think that there is, guys. I really do. I think that there's a lot. I think that there's quite a bit of evidence in his home, and I don't think it's just on these girls. I think it's other incidents that he's done, other crimes that he's committed, because to me, with all these high numbers like these 10s, the 10 of swords and whatnot, and the 8s, this is a pattern of behavior. This is a man who has done, and look at this. This is a lot. This is a man who probably has committed lots of crimes, and he's got lots of things to show for it, which is horrible. So I just hope that they, you know, they make an announcement soon, hopefully. And then we have the 5 of Swords. So he had a lot of 5s. He had that 5 of Wands, right? 5 of Wands. Where was the 5 of Wands? Pretty sure I pulled the 5 of Wands, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm making it up. Thought I did, but maybe I didn't. Shit. Okay. I'm imagining it. All right. So we've got the 5 of Swords, and you know, this kind of just makes me feel like this is a person that has a lot of mental issues. This is like a lot of things going on. I'm looking at this like I've never looked at this before. I don't really look at this card as having, like, you know, multiple personalities or anything like this, but this tells me that this guy has a lot of things, because this is a Swords card. Swords are your thoughts, your mental, you know, your intelligence, you know, that kind of you know, thinking and whatnot. And so, you know, this is a person that I don't think is right in the head. He's got a lot of, I mean, obviously, right? You don't do that to anybody and be right in the head. So we know that, you know, we don't need a tarot card to tell us that. But this, to me, kind of tells me that there are a lot of things in his mind that, you know, I think that they're going to discover he has some major, major issues. So I do think that, you know, it's interesting that that's coming out. And let's see what else. We've got these people here. I like to look at these cards, these images. everybody's turning his back, or everybody's turning their back on him. They're no longer. Interesting. Everybody's turning their back. So if you look at this card here, I wonder if there's people in his life that are going to talk. I wonder if anybody does know him or is associated with him, if they have any information, and they will literally turn their backs on him and they will talk. They will tell any kind of information that they have. So maybe, look for that. Maybe there's going to be people come forward and say, yeah, I knew this guy. And, I wish they had done it sooner. If that's the case, why wait until he's arrested? It's kind of late then. But, it kind of makes me feel like there are going to be people that turn against him and could possibly come forth and give some more information. So this here, I think the Hangman, this was just kind of waiting to happen. I really do feel like this is, kind of waiting. This is a stagnation card. So I feel like this was, I almost makes me feel like he was expecting it. Like he knew. I feel like on some level, he was happy and content that he got away with it. Okay. Got away with these things, that he did these things and he managed to get away with it for the most part. But on the other hand, it makes me feel like he was just waiting for that time when he gets caught. And it kind of tells me that on some level, he probably expected it. He knew it was going to happen someday. Maybe was hoping that it wouldn't be any day soon, but knew it was probably going to happen at least someday. That's the way I'm kind of looking at that card. So if you have any different ideas about that particular card, please let me know. But I'm going to pull a couple cards here with the After Tarot and see. And then I think I'll end it, and totally different perspective on this guy after this reading. Oh my God, this light is driving me crazy. All right, James Bryan Chadwell. Is James Bryan Chadwell bridge guy? Is James Bryan Chadwell? Oh my God, the Hierophant. Jesus. Wow, you cannot. Oh my God, the Hierophant, guys. I want to say that this guy could potentially be bridge guy. Temperance. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is bridge guy. I'm just gonna say it. We've got the Hierophant. Okay, can't make that shit up, right? The Hierophant. So the Ten of Cups, Temperance, restoration of balance. Families that he's affected, okay, that he's, and then the Hierophant. So again, the Hierophant card always seems to come up in the Delphi readings. There's something about this guy, the Hierophant, because I'm not reading on Delphi. I'm reading on James Bryan Chadwell and his connection to possibly Delphi. And so the fact that the Hierophant, the one card that always comes out in just about everybody's tarot reading on Delphi, the fact that it's coming out for this James guy kind of tells me that it's a possibility that this person is the one. He is the one that holds the key, right? He's got the keys. So there are going to be, I think, families, I don't want to say get closure, because I don't think if you've lost anyone in your life and the perpetrator or the person who did it to you, is found guilty and taken off the street, yeah, you're happy that that person is taken off the street, but it doesn't bring your loved one back, right? It doesn't change that. And so I do feel like there is going to be some sort of restoring of balance, okay? And it is going to bring some sort of closure for families. And very interesting. So let me just pull. I'm going to end on, I want to ask one more time, is James Bryan Chadwell, is he the man who killed Libby and Abby? Is James Bryan Chadwell the man who killed Libby and Abby? And then I'm going to end it. Is Bryan Chadwell the man who killed Libby and Abby? Is Bryan Chadwell the man who killed Libby and Abby? Is Bryan Chadwell the man who killed Libby and Abby? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I'm ending it. I've got the justice card. If I were a betting person, I would bet that this man could potentially be Bridge Guy. I really do. I think that there was and like I said in the beginning, I first said no. My first gut instinct was like, no, this guy isn't the one. He's not the one. But this reading has changed my mind 110%. I feel like it's definitely a possibility that this man is, in fact, Bridge Guy. Look, you cannot make that up. I'm going to end it there, guys. Let me know what you think. We'll keep watching. So, all right. Very interesting read. All right. Until next week, you guys, thank you for being here on a Monday or a Tuesday whenever I get this uploaded. Sorry about the lighting and, oh, my stupid lamp over here that's making noise. It's driving me crazy. But anyway, until then, I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.